Welcome to second grade curriculum night. This video is going to walk you through our report card as well as the assessments given in second grade for reading and math throughout the year. If you look in the packet that was sent home with your child this week, you'll find a blank report card. And we're going to go through that report card and what the different categories mean. So let me go back one. Before we dive into the report card, I do want to mention focus. If you need a pin to access your child's focus, please email your child's teacher because interims are only going to be posted on focus. We'll still be printing report cards and sending them home, but interims are only available online. So the first category on the report card is uses picture clues. So this is your child can predict what's happening based on pictures in a story. They can figure out unknown words. If they are having trouble sounding it out, they can look at a picture to help them figure it out. And they can answer questions based on pictures. Uses letters and sounds is phonics. So this is when students can use letters and sounds to decode words and also apply phonics skills to their writing. Thinks of words that make sense. It says context because this is context clues. So being able to figure out unknown vocabulary words based on the context it's used in a sentence. Also using prefixes and suffixes to help understand what words mean. Understands what is read. This shows comprehension. So that can a student comprehend grade level text? Can they understand what is read by others? Can they understand what they read independently? Asking and answering questions independently with their peers and with the teacher. Reads grade level material independently. A huge predictor of this grade is based on their running records. So we're going to get into what a running record is on the assessment piece, but we do look at the running records to determine this grade and can they read appropriate leveled books for a second grade level where they should be and reading fluently, meaning not choppy. It flows. They have good accurate or speed, rate, that kind of things. Self-corrects when reading. So if a student makes a mistake, that they can go back and correct their errors by themselves without having to be told, hey, let's go back and look at that sentence. So they should be able to self-correct when they hear mistakes reading. Communicates effectively when speaking. This is speaks clearly in conversations, asks questions to seek answers, participates in class discussions, speaks at appropriate pace and volume. Communicates effectively when writing. Your child should be able to write for a variety of purposes. They can focus on an idea and clearly state their ideas. They can revise and edit their written work. Uses correct capitalization and punctuation. So this is we're looking at if when they're writing, they have capital letters at the beginning, they have periods, question marks at the end, and they can edit documents to make these corrections to the conventions. Applies standard spelling to written work. So this is when a student can spell words with learned spelling patterns. So if like it's been one of our spelling patterns that they can spell that correctly in their writing. And also if it's something an unlearned pattern, so we haven't learned it yet, that they can use what they know about letters and sounds to sound it out and spell it how they think it would be spelled. It's important to note that spelling grade is not just isolated on spelling tests. We take into account how they spell in their writing, how they spell in any work that they do that's written. So it's not just their spelling test grades. It's important to do well in spelling tests to study. It helps them learn the words, but we're looking at more that they're applying those words throughout all of their written work. Writes legibly. So in this county, we choose Danielian or manuscript writing, which they learn in K and 1, specifically how to write each letter. So we're looking at, can they write nice in Danielian? It's legible. They're using their handwriting paper correctly. They're writing from left to right, top to bottom, putting finger spaces, all those kinds of things. Okay, moving on to math. There's the 4 math categories. Understand number concepts is the first one, and this includes place value, number patterns, money, graphing, time, odd and even, and skip counting. Next is solves addition problems. So we solve addition problems up to 3 digits. So we'll do 3-digit addition. They need to be using strategies when they add. So doubles, make a 10, doubles plus 1. We teach arrays, which is addition, fact fluency. So in second grade, they should know their facts 0 to 20 fluently, meaning within about 3 seconds, they should be able to answer a fact. And most of us do extra math to help practice that fact fluency online as well. Solve subtraction problems. So we'll also do subtraction up to 3 digits and using strategies and knowing those facts with subtraction fluently as well under 20. Applies problem solving strategies. This is when they have a word problem. With the word problem, they know which operation to use. So are we adding? Are we subtracting? And we'll be doing word problems with money, graphing, measurement, geometry, fractions, and time as well. Okay, now we're going to talk about the assessments that we give in second grade. This first slide is on math assessment. So we give lots of formative assessments throughout the year. We do timed math fact quizzes, and part of that is also the extra math. We give domain assessments. So each 9 weeks, we teach a different domain. The first one is algebraic thinking. So at the end of the 9 weeks, we'll give an assessment on all of those skills we've taught under that domain. And then they'll take another one under numbers and operations, second 9 weeks, measurement and data, third 9 weeks, and geometry, the fourth 9 weeks. We do take an iReady math diagnostic, and this is given 3 times a year. They took it at end of August, beginning of September. They'll take it again in December, and then again at the end of the year in May. Okay, running records, as we mentioned earlier, we use this to help steer some of our grades on report cards. Running records, it's a one-on-one assessment done with the teacher, and we use this to determine if they can recognize words, their word attack skills like self-correcting, and comprehension. So the student will read a book for us on a certain level, and these levels are set by the district saying that they need to master this certain level by this 9 weeks. And as they're reading, we're marking down what words they're getting right and wrong, and then we ask them questions at the end of it. So it's both parts. They have to miss only a certain number of words, and they have to get the comprehension questions right. So second grade students should be reading at a level 20 by the end of the first 9 weeks, a level 24 by the end of the second 9 weeks, a 28 at the end of the third 9 weeks, and a level 30 by the end of the school year. iReady. So we did the math iReady diagnostic, and we also do reading iReady diagnostic. The iReady diagnostic for reading looks at different parts, components of reading. So it looks at phonological awareness, phonics, high frequency words, vocabulary, comprehension with literature, and comprehension with informational texts. So the students are also assessed 3 times a school year, the same times as math, and we use this to determine growth and identify areas that we need to work on and strengthen. And the research has proven that students will make great gains in reading when they work on the iReady program for 45 minutes a week. So we are doing that this school year. The e-learning students are also doing iReady at home for 45 minutes a week. Our weekly reading tests, we give usually two weekly reading tests. One is comprehension for the story that we've been reading all week in class from our reading book, and then a cold read. We call this a cold read because the student has never read it before. So with the comprehension test, they've read this story all week long, and then they're assessed on what comprehension of that story. Cold reads, it's a completely new story, and they're applying those same skills that we've been working on throughout the week. So the components that can be included in a reading assessment would be vocabulary, phonics, and comprehension skills. And it is showing us their understanding of the skills we've covered. So for example, this week we're learning about text features. Our cold read on Friday will be about text features and if they can use those when they're reading to help them understand. We also give a spelling test every week, and this focuses on our spelling pattern for the week, and it includes a dictation sentence, which can include patterns of words that we have formerly learned and high frequency words with our current spelling pattern. Other reading tests that we give are the SRI, and this is usually given in the library during their activity time with Ms. Kublank, and this is given 3 times a year, and at the end of the test, it will give them a Lexile score. So a typical Lexile score is between 220 and 539, and this just gives us an idea of what kind of books they should be reading on their Lexile level when they go to the library, and the goal is obviously for them to increase their Lexile throughout the year. And the last reading test that we give is the PSI, and this is a phonics screener for intervention. And we assess students on nonsense words to show that they can apply their phonics skills to unknown words. So a lot of kids can just be a word caller and they know the word, but they can't apply that same skill in other words. So if they actually understand the phonics skill, then they should be able to read words that they know and words that they don't know. So that is all we have for you tonight. So if you have any questions, we want you to please type it in the chat and we will answer it for you. We didn't want everyone to be calling out at the same time. So if you just type it in the chat and we will be happy to answer your questions as we read them. Thank you.